doing? My name is Winfred, and welcome to this channel where it's all about savings. Today, we are going to be talking about life, and my name is Winfred. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, subscribers, for subscribing. And those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, you're welcome to this channel, and feel free to subscribe if you feel it has blessed you in any way. The essence of this channel is normally to read the Bible from Genesis all the way up to Revelation, but Friday nights are dedicated towards the life, how you do life, where you do life from, and today is not any different. In the comments, someone wrote me in that number that normally runs across the screen is for you to drop in a comment on which topic you would want us to discuss come Friday. And today, the topic we are going to be handling is savings. Savings in any sense like that you can think of. So we are going to talk about savings. If you don't want to hear savings, then you might as well just stick around and feel free to drop in a comment about something else. Otherwise, today we are talking about savings. Savings in every sense. Now, I know I have got to set a few things. You're welcome on board, those of you who are dropping by, and feel free to drop a comment. I will be reading comments as and when I find time to squeeze them in. So if I don't make mention of your comment or your name, guys, I still have noticed you and I know you're watching. But in order for us to stay on track, we are going to be just doing as per programmed, and then we can read the comments much later. I hope you'll be blessed. So grab your cup of tea in case you're going to be drinking tea. Grab a bite. Let me get some of my things also ready. And then together we can start. Just give me a couple of minutes and I'll be back and we'll be starting our live chat. I'm back. Thank you guys for tuning in. And without wasting any time, we are off to our topic of savings. Today we are going to talk about saving in a way. What else can we save that is in savings? There are so many things. Resources that can be saved. I'm going to decline that call. There are resources that can be saved. What is savings is the topic today. Savings is anything that brings you, savings is anything that you put aside for a future debt. So that is going to be our topic, savings. And savings in any form. But I'm going to start off by giving you examples of simple things that can be saved. An example is if I have water and if it's raining and I have my self-containers, if I put them out and collect water, eventually I would have a full tank of water because I collected all the water from the rain. Now, remember, it does not drop one drop. It drops from all corners. And guess what? I collect all the water that comes from the different drops of rain that I collect with my containers. Now, same applies to us today. We are going to be talking about savings and savings of anything, resources, money, and eventually we will develop ourselves. Friday is dedicated to purely life. And today we are talking about savings. Savings, you can save your income, any money that you bring in. Like an example, we are going to be basing so much on the rain. When it rains, it does not drop only one drop, but it drops many drops. And those drops can be collected. When you find my sound has gone down, guys, feel free to let me know in the comments that your sound is down, and I will be able to correct it. Otherwise, I'm talking about savings. Those of you who are coming in for the first time, guys, you're welcome. And those of you who are already subscribed and always tuning in every Friday, thank you so much. Now, savings, we are talking about money today and resources. An example that we are going to use as our base is rain. When it rains on all the ground. But guess what? The containers we put out to collect the rain are the ones that harvest water that you eventually can use. But those drops that you did not collect, guess what happens to them? They are wasted because you did not collect them. So with that in mind, we are going to talk about savings. How can you save? How can you save money? In this case, we are talking about resources and money, but I'll interchange here and there just in case so that it makes sense for you. Now, how can I save is the question on ground. We are going to also be handling how much do you earn, how much you really need to survive, the expenses that you have. We are going to be talking about ways of saving, habits that keep us poor. That is another topic that we are going to be handling, and saving challenges that are out there. So the topic today is savings and saving challenges. How much can I save? Can I really save? Is there anyone who is specific that should be saving? Those are the things that we are going to talk about. Now, how can you save? You can save in so many ways. In Uganda, we have groups, joint groups that people come up with. We call them in Uganda League. Those are many group people who join together and they just collect their money together in form of circles. Whereby they call them circles simply because today someone can get, and then the next weekend someone else is getting, and the next weekend someone else is getting, and then the next weekend just like that until everyone has got, and then you start afresh if you still want to be in the group or the circle. But if you're not interested, then you drop out. But after having given the other person. Now, that is one way of saving through circles. You can save through your workplace. You can save in boxes. People have boxes and the others have tins. There are many ways that we can save money. So who can save is another question that is posed. Who can save? Any of us can save money, guys. I have my daughters and all my kids. When the year ends, you encourage them to start saving. So they look for things to do and get money. So it's not limited to just the older ones that save, but also younger ones can save, old people can save. You can save towards anything. But the reason why we do not save money is because we don't have goals that drive us or push us into saving. If you don't have anything that pushes you into saving, guess what happens? You spend your money any way you want or anyhow. But it is ideally very good that you self-drive yourself, whereby you push yourself to goals that are not easily attainable. Those things that seem far from you, way beyond you. If you purpose that I will save, guess what happens? You will be able to get to that goal if you have a goal in life. But the thing is, the danger is if we don't have anything that drives us. If you don't have anything to look forward to. Now I have dreams. I want to get myself a new car. Guess what I'll do? I'll start saving. I know it is way beyond my means, but there's nothing wrong with saving because saving has never failed anyone. Now you're going to see the advantages of saving. And also, there are some disadvantages of saving if you didn't know. Savings alone do not make you rich. Those are topics that we are going to be talking about. Now, when you're looking at savings, you need also to ask yourself, how much do I earn? That is a very key question because it will help you in terms of spending. Some people live beyond their means. Others, again, are misers. We call them cheapskates. They even go beyond. I mean, you're earning, but you're cheap even to yourself. That is also another bad thing or deadly place to be. You need to be at that place where you are a mediocre. You earn, say, like I earn 50,000, and at least I inject in some money to myself, at least 10% or 20%, such that I do not starve, yet I have an income. Now, that is also something to look into. How much do you earn is a question where you start off from. Whatever amount of money you're earning, you can save. I mean, we always all wait until we are earning millions, until we are earning, you know, big figures, big seven figures. Well, that time may not ever come, but you can attain it when you save. But if you don't save, it's hard for you to get to all those goals. Now, all the life that you want can only be a dream. Why? Because you're not willing to save. But if you're willing to save, guess what will happen? Uh, Anything that seems very far can eventually be attained. I cannot forget when one of my daughters saved her money in the teen. By then, she was really young. And she thought what she had saved was really a lot. And so we went out for her to go and shop. And guess what happened? She goes to the shop and tells the man, uh, she first asked me, "Do you think this daddy needs?" I said, "Yes, she does. He does." And then she said, "Give it for my dad." "Do you think daddy needs this cape?" I said, "Yes, he does." And then she told the man, "Get that cape as well." "Do you think she needs this wallet?" I said, "Yes, he does." And remember, she had gone out to buy for other people. But what she did was buy only for one person. I hope uh, who? Jazania, you're tuning in. I hope Jekolia, Joel, I hope you guys are tuning in as well, because you are the ones who asked about savings. Now, what happened that day? She spent all her money on one person, and yet she had gone out initially to shop for 7 people. And then after that, she realized she was left with only 500 shillings, and that could not buy anything. Guess what she started doing is asking, "Can you please give me, even if you give me a coin, that would be good." And guess what? No one was willing to give her the money, because she had blown it saying, "Don't put a price on my dad. I want anything for him. Just give him, give him, give him." And so she spent. So there is no money that is too much, that if you spent it, you don't run it out. Any money that you have, if you all you're doing is spending, it will run out eventually. So today we are talking about savings. I know there are people who want to hear other topics. It's unfortunate this happened on Valentine's Day, and no one suggested we talk about love. But we will drift towards that as well if you want to talk about love, because it's Valentine's Day. But since we are doing live, those of you who have tuned in, you're welcome. Suraj, you're welcome. Persian YouTube, you're welcome. Audrey, you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, feel free to drop in comments, because I can see you here and then get to know who is watching. And feel free to also call in. The number is +256 762 599 138. On that one, you can join and say anything. Uh, yeah, you can feel free to drop in a comment. Now, in the next question we are going to talk about is, how much do you really need to survive? The first one was, how much do you earn? So it does not matter how much you earn, you can save. Let's give and take. You're earning 10,000. If you're earning 10,000 and you choose to save at least 10% of 10,000, all you do is cover the first zero, and whatever is left is what you can save. So that is 1,000 shillings. I'm using shillings because we are in Uganda, and I'm assuming everyone that is watching in is from different places. So whatever your currency is, you can just cover the first zero. Or if you have one not a kind of money or currency, go ahead and get the lowest amount that you have, and purpose to just save that. I mean, we always come up with these excuses. I have nothing, I'm not earning. Every one of us is earning somewhere. No, but Father, you're welcome. Thank you for watching. Every one of us, every one of us can save any money. No, but you ask which country am I broadcasting from? I'm from Uganda and I'm broadcasting from Uganda. Yeah, you're welcome. And back to our topic. Every one of us can save money regardless of how much you earn. The thing is, a poor mind can always keep you backward. You always think you don't have enough. And so that kind of topic does not concern you because for you earn very little. Even the least money that you earn can be saved. You just purpose. Because have you realized that the more money you have, the more expenses you get? Because if my income goes up, there's that mentality. Now I can afford these apartments and I move into the apartments. I can drive this car. I can be eating this way. I can shop in this place. Your expenses go up simply because your standard of living or your income has increased, and so you spend more. So if your income had reduced or stayed the same, you'd still be able to live within budget. Now that is why it is good that we have that self-motivated mind of saving. Now, I said, how much do you earn? To answer the question of those who say, can I save even when I earn only 10,000? Yes, you can, because your expenses, because you earn little, your expenses are a bit low. You don't, unless you choose to live in that rich mindset when you're actually earning less. Those are people that you find that live beyond their means, and that's a deadly place to be. You need to be living at a medium level where you do not, because some of us adopt habits of borrowing money. You borrow from here, you borrow from your phone, so you find that you can't even send them any mobile money on the phone simply because they've got this big loan on the phone. You can't walk during daytime because your neighbor's shop is right next to your house and your neighbor will see you walking out and you've not cleared the debt. We can live debt free. All we have to do is live realistically. You realize this is how much I earn and this is how much I'll spend. But if you choose to live beyond your means, you can never make it in life. A mind that saves is a mind that can cause you to get to anything. The people that you see that are rich did not start off by spending all that they had. At some point, they chose to save. And as we go further, it is investment. Because money also just saved doesn't do much for you. We'll get to that later. Now, how much do you really need to survive is something that you need to ask yourself. If you're asking, how can I save? You also need to look at things like, how much do I need? Do I earn? And then the other question that you would be asking yourself, how much do you really need to survive? You're welcome, guys. Those of you who have just joined in, my name is Winfred, and thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking about savings today, and you will learn a thing or two about savings if you keep it right here. And the first question we asked, how much do I need to earn to be able to save? Who can save? Those are the topics that we are going to be talking about. How much do you really need to survive are the things that you need to look in when you're looking at savings. And we also need to look at ways of saving. We are going to be looking at habits that keep us poor. And then we are going to also look at saving challenges. So feel free, this is a live chat, to drop in your comment and also call in on the number plus 256 762 599 138. Those are the numbers, and it's a live chat. Go on and drop your comments. But if I don't respond to your comment right away, it is because I need to stick to what it is that we are going on. But I'll read you. I've seen you, and I'll read your comment later. Now, the other thing that we are talking about that will help us, the question is, how can you save? First, you look at how much do you earn. That is an area that you look at. If you're going to save, you need to look to be realistic and say, how much do I earn? Because what you earn will give you a base of how much you should save. And then how much do you earn will also give you the percentage of what you should spend, how much you should invest, how much do you really need to survive is another question. There is living beyond our means where you're spending I mean, you find people are going out every Friday night. You can't even afford going out every Friday night, but because you want to keep up with appearances, you join the group and just go and spend the little that you earned, and you find yourself always not having enough. Also, living beyond our means can keep us from saving and also growing as individuals. This Fridays is dedicated to doing life. So feel free to drop in. Today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. And because we are looking at enterprising ourselves, because we are looking at developing ourselves, I've not talked about love, but feel free in the later hour to talk about love if that's what you feel is on your heart and you've already saved enough. Feel free to, talk about what is on your heart. It's a live chat. Drop a comment or call in on +256 762 599 138. Another thing you need to look at when you're looking at how you can save is your expenses. What is it that is taking up much of your money? Because there is us earning. There are people who I know who go out and work every single day. But much as they work and earn, they have this mentality that is robotic. You earn it and you spend all of it. That is a deadly place to be, because you need to look at what are your expenses, how much do you really earn, how much do you need to really survive. Those are the things that we are going to talk about. Now, in the expenses that are key to guide us in savings is things like food, because we all need food. But again, there's no reason why you're working so hard and you're taking poor care of yourself. There's being a miser, and a miser to yourself as well, whereby you're earning the money, but you're eating the cheapest food, the worst kind of food simply because you're saving. That is also a wrong mentality. Food is key when you're going to save, because a healthy mind will be able to bring in money. But if you're not healthy, you will not be able to bring in money. So we need to look, if I'm saving my expenses, the key things is food, because you need to eat and be well. And also you need to look at the rent, because we need to be realistic. You're not going to sleep out because you're saving. You need to save money and sleep well. Then you look at maybe internet. How much do you need to spend on internet? Because now internet is inevitable. But again, there are those who go on there and blow more money on the internet. And yet that internet they are injecting money in does not bring in money at the end of the day. So those are expenses that we need. There are people who cannot stay offline. I mean, I cannot be offline. And yet all they are doing on there is, betting, uh, things that are really not adding to them. We should look out for things that add value to us, because then that kind of expense is a valuable one. It's one that you can count as a good expense, because it's really bringing in or adding value to you. Another thing you can look at when you're looking at expenses is other bills like water and power. Those are good expenses that you can, talk about and consider in your expenses. Then expenses that can be swapped. When you're looking at how can you save, you need also to look at in your expenses, are there expenses that I can swap? Now you can look, the expense of food cannot be swapped. So it is one of those that are justified as under expenses. Now we are looking at ways of how you can save. How much do you earn is one thing. Those of you who are dropping by for the first time, that is an area we have covered. How much do you really need to survive is another one. And then your expenses. Now, in the expenses, are there expenses that can be swapped? They are not really urgent expenses. If you don't have such expenses and you can swap them, that money which you ideally would use, say like every month when you get some pay, you have to go and sports bet on this percentage, get that money of sports betting and save it. See how much you would make at the end of the day. Because some of us say really it's hard to save, but it's not as hard as we think. Are there expenses that can be swapped? Now, expenses like rent, it can't be swapped. But is the expense of shoes swappable? Can you swap the expense on shoes? Yes, you can. And because you can swap your expense on shoes, you don't have to get yourself shoes every month. So that means that is an expense that can be swapped. You don't have to buy yourself clothes every month, because you should buy quality clothes and quality shoes that last at least more than 6 months. That way, you have a desired number that you always look good, and yet you're not spending as much. Another thing that we can look at is emergency fund. When you're looking at how can you save, this is how you divide your money. You need to have an emergency fund. Now, this is what I'll do when I'm earning. If I'm earning 10,000 shillings, I'm in Uganda, and I earn 10,000 shillings. Guess what I would do? 10,000 shillings, I would cut off 10% of that, which is 1,000 shillings, and then I'm left with 9,000 shillings. That goes to my saving. Guys, we shouldn't be mean to ourselves before you think of giving that girlfriend or that husband, or you need to take off 10%. Let it be a habit that you adopt. 10%. I'm giving you 10,000 because I know that is the least amount of money, or among the least amounts that notes that we have in Uganda. So like that is how much you earn. And I'm assuming because you earn that, your expenses are also low. Have you realized, like I said before, that the more money you earn, the more you spend? Because guess what? Then you start realizing, but I can afford that car. Then you go and look at it and get it on credit. But do you really need to get a new car when you can't pay for it in cash? No. So that is also a swappable expense of a new car. If the one you're having can still work, guess what? You don't need that other car. So that is a swappable expense. In case you're wondering what a swappable expense is, today we are going to better ourselves financially. Hello, Mpaulo, Alex, you do Forex, hello there. And Maro Mbeke, hello. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to also say hello to Paulo. Alex said, can someone get rich without saving? Yes, you can get rich without saving. But there's a saying as well, easy come, easy go. I mean, if you're not going to save for something to get it, you will get it easily, and trust me, you will lose it as well. You can inherit and get rich just like that. So that answers your question. Back to what we're talking about, emergency funds. When you get your money, you divide it. Take off the expenses that are inevitable. Now, if I'm earning 10,000 and I take off 10%, that would leave me with 9,000. And again, I take off the rent. Say like if I'm earning 10,000, that means 10,000 cannot pay my rent of 200,000. Guess what I would do? I would look for a place that goes for 6,000 or 5,000, because that's what I can afford. It goes to show you that whatever level you're at, you can save. I cannot assume you live in a 20,000 house when you earn 10,000. You will always be trapping yourself in debt. We need to stick to our level and our means. An example, excuse me, is those people who go out with expensive girls. The girl is way beyond your means. I'll give an example. When I'm looking, if I was a man, this is what I would do. I'm not a man, and I don't hope to change anytime soon. But if I was looking to get a girl, I would not get one who is so beneath me, I have to bend all the time to reach that girl. I need to get someone. I cannot also get someone who is way, way, way above me, that I have to get on my tippy toes to get to this girl because she's way above me. And I don't also need to get someone who is beneath me. So guess what I'll get? I'll get a girl who is up to my level. That way we have the same reasoning capacity. She understands when I say I want to save. She understands when I say today we are going to be shopping things for a month. And she knows exactly what that language is, things shopping for a month. It means the food we buy now will have to last us through the whole month. That way we can be able to get to other goals. Otherwise, if you get a girl who is so beneath you, guess what she will do? She will be so cheap and you eat so poorly and end up again not achieving anything, but because your health will drop. But again, if you get someone who is way up there, she will be ready to spend money, and guess what? She will spend it, and before it even comes in, you're already in credit because she's already seen that smart TV, already seen that smart, fridge, all those expensive things she will jump on board for. And yet all you're looking to get is someone who is on your level with the same reasoning ability. That way you're able to develop yourself. Now, in the emergency funds, we put those funds of, in case, like me, I come from Africa. We have extended families whereby my father-in-law is still alive and he gets ill and we have to pinch in and pay for the bill. Those are the emergency funds. You need to help. Your kid went to school and they call you and say, you know what? Your kid just fell and needs to be taken for medical attention. That emergency fund would come in quickly to be able to care for those expenses that ideally had not planned for. And also there is also, say like you have to make a trip. You did not plan it. You cannot plan the whole month through. And there's a baby shower. It's emergency. You've got to go. Someone is having their baby shower and you're called. You can get off that emergency fund and be able to contribute towards the baby shower. Because I'm saying, as we are aspiring to save, we again don't become cheapskates where we don't pinch in, where we don't help or we don't donate. So that emergency fund would come in very well there. Now, emergency fund is not for cravings. Like you be at home and you crave for fish. I want to eat fried fish. No. Under emergency fund, there is no cravings. So that money is supposed to be kept for emergencies. Really those things that are urgent, but you don't have, they are urgent, but you did not plan for them and you don't have money for, because you didn't plan for them. So those are emergency funds, are not for cravings. And emergency funds also are not for holiday. Like I want to go on holiday and visit my cousin in Australia. No. Emergency funds is really emergency as you hear it. Those expenses that drop on you and you're not prepared, but you see you need to really attend to them. Those are emergency funds. And also those ones need to be considered. So when you're dividing your money, you look at how much you earn, how much do you really need to survive. Those are realistic things. Let us live out of the clouds, guys. We all want to drive the latest car. We all want to eat out every day. We all want to, be the party animals. We go out and we are flashing money left, right, and center. But discipline will get us to those big goals. Big goals come. Someone asked if they can become rich without saving. Yes, you can. But you can become rich without saving. But again, like I said, someone can die that is your relative and will everything to you. That is one way of getting rich. But what are the chances of that happening? Yeah. What are the chances of someone dying and making you rich just like that? So because those chances are minimal and we're not going to go killing our relatives so we can become rich, we save. It's a habit you adopt, and it has to be one of those things that you take on. And Kayongo, Sarah, you said that's true message. Yeah, thank you so much. That's his true message. Thank you so much, Dina. Nice saving and helpful. Thank you so much. Now, back to our topic of savings. Emergency funds do not involve nights out. Like today is Valentine's, and my girlfriends come, or my husband starts saying, let us go out, and then I get off the emergency fund. We need to have that discipline to save. You will not die just because you've not gone out on Valentine's Day. You will not die. Neither will your relationship die. This business of people leaving because the man did not buy me flowers, or unless you're saying your love is only demonstrated on one day, which is Valentine's Day. But if that is not the case, then guys, it's okay. Even when you don't get anything on Valentine's Day, this person is what counts. I know it is hard to swallow. We are living off social media. My goodness, that thing has done us a lot of harm. Social media platforms, they've done us a lot of harm where we just think we are living on screen. Those people they show on TV and on social media don't even seem like they work. They just, spend money. You see them going on holiday, and so you also want to go on holiday. But holiday doesn't really do it much when you're going to come back home to an empty, when your things were thrown out by the landlord because you didn't clear your rent. Yeah, your kids can't go to school because you went out on holiday. All these things have to be planned. Now, also when you're looking to save, you need to know how to. The first thing you do, if you have any loan, to pay off loans, you take off 10% and save it, because that's like a low. And that money you save, until you have sat down and with a clear head thought of what to do with that money, don't touch it. Forget it. Act like it's not even there. And there are many ways of saving, guys. Those of you who didn't start with us, there is a way of saving using circles, where you can join a circle, a group of you. Say like I have 5 sisters, and we all come together and decide to save money on a weekly basis or on a daily basis. We each drop 1,000 shillings on the table. Guess what? At the end of the week, if we are 5, that is 5,000. Next week, if we do the same, that is 10,000. The week after that will be 15,000. After that will be 20. This money grows to a point that if it has grown, it can bring returns. Now, there are many ways of saving. You can save, say like you're at work. If you're working in a company that is recognized, you have to be paying NSSF. NSSF is also your way of saving money, because that money is going for your retirement age. When you're a certain age, you'll be able to withdraw that money and use it to develop yourself, or use it to spend in your later years. But also you can save at work. Do you know that if you're all working in the same company, you can choose? When I was working with Excel Insurance Company, we used to get weekly allowances. Now, of that weekly allowance, if I had a group of people that I could connect so well with, even if I'm earning 200,000 a month and they give me weekly allowance of 50,000, guess what I would do? I would take off 10,000 or 5,000 and leave it with those other employees that we make a circle with. And guess what? At the end of the week or month, someone would be getting money, and my turn would also come, and I would not be. That money saved seems at times as though money that has just been handed out to you, but actually you saved it. And the habit of saving, you can save at work, you save through NSSF, you can save even through your side hustles. I gave an example of when it rains. When it rains, you put out these containers to collect water. And the areas where you did not put containers will not collect you any water. But the areas where you put containers, water will be collected. And guess what? You will have a full tank if you put out different containers, and at the end of the day, piled all that water in one container. Wahipi, Nyirenda, hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, back to where we have been. If you collect in different containers, you'll be able to have water. So same applies to us. If you're earning and you've got all these different side hustles, and even through the side hustles you save, at the end of the day, your pool money will be big, because you've collected from your salary, you saved 10%. Every side hustle, you collect 10%. Now, if side hustles give you money, there's also joint ventures, like I said. In Uganda, we call them niginas or circles, where people collect money, and in a group, I get people in my village, I get people where I work, and then we each drop maybe 5,000 every week. And at the end of the week, someone is getting, say like we are 10 of us and we are dropping 5,000 every week, that will be 50,000 at the end of the week that someone will be getting. So that is also one way of saving. The reason why we handled savings today is because Fridays is dedicated to a live chat. Feel free, guys, to drop in a comment, because it's a live chat and your comment will be honored and respected and will be read at some point. Hi, Alan. Thank you so much for tuning in. And back to what we're talking about. If you have side hustles, if you have side hustles and you collect money from all these pools, you will be able to get money at the end of the day that is substantial. Now, our motive is to get ourselves from a poor setting to a rich setting. You realize those rich people spend but they don't spend anyhow just because they earn it. And we tend to feel bad when you go to a rich person, someone you really know has that money, and you tell them your problems, and they say, well, I can't help you, not at this point in time. And it's like, hi, the man has money, but there's a way they don't want to give out money. They have it, but they can never give it out. They are not looking for places to give it away to. They are saving so that it can grow and come back to them much more than what you see right now. So if we can also purpose to start saving, we will be able to achieve those goals that at the moment seem impossible. Now, there is also direct debit from your account. There are bank accounts, guys. Those of you who don't know, there are banks in your country or where you're staying, there are banks, and you can authorize the bank to withdraw directly from your account. Those of you who have it hard to save, if you agree with the bank to remove a certain amount of money every month end and transfer it to your savings account, the bank can do a direct debit whereby they directly access your account and take off the money and deposit it in your savings. So for those of you who don't know how to take it off yourself, that 10%, you can authorize your bank where your salary comes into and tell them when the month ends, just directly divert this money straight to this account. And the bank will do that even before you sneeze. The moment the money drops on like this, they will take off the 10% and it will straight away go to savings. So you can authorize your bank to do direct debit for you. Now we are looking at ways of saving. You can save through side hustles, you can save through work, you can save through NSSF, you can save through joint ventures, and also you can save using the box method or tin method. Many people have used that because you get every day you purpose, I'll drop in 1,000 shillings, and you'd be surprised by the end of the year. When you have so much, you drop in more. For those who cannot stick to the 10% because the expenses are too much. But purpose, guys, any money that you save is for you, is not for anyone else. That means you love yourself first before you love those people that are out there, before you love that girlfriend and you're injecting all that much money, before you love that husband, before you love that boyfriend. You can purpose to save. Those of you who don't put your money together as partners, you can purpose to save. That before you do anything, you love yourself that much, you directly put in the effort of saving. And you can tell your bank to do a direct debit, and that transaction is done for you just like that. The box method or tin method, where you drop in money as and when you get it. Also, there are investments that bring in savings for you. You can invest that money. There are unit funds, there are unit trusts, if I may put it, where people put money and you watch your money grow. You can monitor it on your phone. And the unit trust, the reason why I'm for them is because they are tax free. You know that money you put on the account is always taxed. But if you go and save using unit trusts, that money is not taxed. And it's recognized by the government. It is not taxed because the unit, the company or the people that you're using to save that money on the unit trust will be the ones who pay the taxes. So your money goes onto your account and stays there, and you just watch it grow. And as it grows, guess what happens? You can choose to just withdraw the interest and leave the initial deposit. And guess what? That money grows and grows and grows. And before you know it, you're leaving that poor setting. You can better. Anyone who chooses to save today will not be poor tomorrow. I can assure you on that one. Because when today you're living in a house of 50,000, if you're a person who chooses to save, guess what? By next year, you will upgrade from a house of 50,000 to a house of maybe 80,000. Thank you so much, yeah, for tuning in, Dina and Maxwell. Now, another thing that you can do is that 10% discipline. You just make it a habit that every month I'll take off 10%. Either you drop it in a tin or put it in your savings, but that discipline of 10%. Also paying for items upfront when you have money. We are so much taken up by that society of credit, where we are so comfortable with credit. It is a bad habit, but we adopt it and we start taking things, even things that you can pay for upfront, because it's offered on credit. Guess what you do? You go on and get it on credit, and yet you can pay for it upfront. So if we can adopt the habit of getting things and paying for them upfront, if I cannot afford it, I don't get it. That is one way we can also save, because many times we live beyond our means simply because we can get them on credit, and so you find yourself surrounded with so much debt. Your neighbor is willing, the neighbor who has a shop is willing to give you rice for on credit, and so you just keep on getting. Even when you have money, you just keep on getting on credit. That way, your money will never grow. Why? Because you're always using it to spend. The moment you get your salary, the one who drives you on the border or motorcycle, you owe them maybe some money. You owe the one on or at the shop, the one who sells charcoal, you owe them as well. I mean, you surround yourself with so much credit, and already on your phone you have. So anything that you can pay for upfront, I encourage us guys to pay for, because if we don't do that, it will be hard for us to leave the poverty line and get to that line that we dream to get to. And having goals is also a good thing. If you have a goal in life, I plan, next year I'll not live in this place. Next year I will not be going by taxi, I'll buy my own car. Depending on how much you're earning, that takes us back to that goal, that point of how much do you earn. If you earn a lot, guess what? You save a lot. If you earn less, you save less. But it is key that we always make it a habit to save as we earn. Yeah? Now, having goals will drive us. Say like my goal this year is to stop renting and live in my own place. Guess what I'll do? I'll not be eating out every Friday night and going and being this party animal or craving to eat, chips and Mongolian meat from, God knows where. No, I will be focused because I want to move into my house and it would cost me money. Guess what I do? I will make sure that I save. If I want, say, like to buy land, I'll not be having nights out every Wednesday and every Friday. No, I will stick to those things that will help me get to my goals. Also, having the right people as friends. Guys, any kind of time you find yourself with friends that only, are around when you're just spending and having a party, then those kinds of friends are not the best of friends. They do not add anything to you. And guess what? They are taking from you, because all that you do when you're with them is the pressure is too much. All the time you have to be thinking of where are we going? How much do I have to spend when I go there? It is okay to be at home. It is okay to eat food at home. It is okay to watch that game on TV at home or somewhere at the friends where we are not spending money. It's okay. It's not demonic. There's a time for everything under the sun. An example of a person who saved and saved his whole family and country and those that were around at that time is Joseph. Guess what he did? He saved all the food that was being grown at that time. He saved it and made sure that everyone who was planting took off a certain percentage and brought it for saving. Everyone in the country that was doing farming. And guess what? That did not only save him, it saved his family, it saved his country, and the world at large, because everyone used to go to Egypt to get food. Why? Because of one decision of a person, which was Joseph. He knew he could not plant food that could feed a whole country or the world. But guess what he did? He encouraged everyone to take off a certain measure of what they had harvested, every time they harvest, and bring it, and it was stored. So that goes to show you, when we save, we are able to get to greater heights. But when we choose to always eat what we have earned, all of it, I mean, this month I got 14 million. and I take everyone out. I get that shoe. You know, buy those clothes, go on holiday. After I come back from holiday, my rent will be pending, my gas bills will be pending. I will have, if there's any emergency, there will be nothing to cater for that. So every one of us can save. But the degree to which we save are the disciplines that we put in ourselves. I will not spend beyond my means. If I'm earning 100,000, I will not live in a house of 300,000. That's crazy. That is waiting to put a rope around your neck without anyone even saying a word. But if you purpose that I'm going to save money, I'm earning 100,000, I'll look for a house of 30,000. 10% will go off to savings, which leaves me with 60,000. Then I'll buy. I will take off 10,000 for emergency. That leaves me with 50. I'll take off 10,000 or 20,000 for the inevitable expenses. Remember, we talked about expenses that can be swapped, all the different kinds of expenses. So if you handle it that way, guess what will happen, guys? You will be able to live a life that you can only dream of, ideally. Now, there are habits that keep us poor. That is what we are going to talk about. And if you're ready to hear those habits, join me as we talk about them. When we save last, not fast, we are keeping ourselves in habits of being poor. An example of when we save last, say like you earn 100,000, and the moment you get the 100,000, you first pay the bills, buy yourself shoes, give your girlfriend some money, then pay for rent, then airtime, then data, and all these other things. And the last money that is left is what you're saving, if there is any, that is. Then those are habits that are going to keep you poor. Every day you'll be working from hand to mouth, from hand to mouth. But if we choose today, guys, I'm encouraging every one of us, and I would like to hear testimonies of how these things have helped you over time. Because if we choose today that when I earn 100,000, the first thing is take off 10%, regardless, because you realize that when your money increases, say like before I was earning 100,000 and then I start earning 200. I know of someone who earned 40 million in 1 month. He had never dreamt of even 1 million. And then he earned 40 million in one go. The first thing that came to mind was to marry this girl that he found at the store cleaning. Can you imagine? Because then he thought in his head he's rich and he can afford just about anything. And then he went out and got this girl. He went shopping very early in the morning to the supermarket and found this beautiful girl cleaning and trying to open up the store. He looked at her and he knew ideally if he didn't have that money, he could not afford her. Because also us girls have standards. Sometimes we aim so high. We want those ones who are driving the biggest car, living in that certain community. There's that thing as well. And so this man took this girl out and told her, I want you to pick anything from the store. I'll pay for it. Now remember, he earned 40 million, which is about $10,000. Now, when he got the money, because he didn't have goals, the first thing that came to him was marrying a woman. Really, is that an investment? Because once you spend that money, it will not come back. And marrying does not add any money to your account. 10 years down the line, you will not, that even 10 years is way far, because he took her out, took her shopping, and then after that, they went out to the hotel, had a good time. After days of locking in, the time she was leaving, he told her, now I want you to go to your parents, tell them I'm coming to visit. I want to marry you off. This is a total stranger he had met, but because he had 40 million, which is about $10,000, he went off and married a girl. Now, in the first week of their marriage, he came home and found that she was in bed with the best friend. And that was the end of the marriage. There's no way he could continue. But remember, all the 40 million or the $10,000 that he had earned, he injected into this girl and in marrying her. Now, we need to have goals that drive us and also be people who focus on saving. Because the moment you get money, if you don't have goals, you will blow that money and you'll be left with nothing. So saving should take the very first place in our lives, not the last, as in we save the leftovers. No, we should save our money. Before you do anything, you take off the 10%. Say like I got 300,000, I'll take off 30,000 and save it without even talking to anyone, discussing anything. So I consider myself as a person who earns 270,000. Why? Because that is 30,000, or the 10% that comes off that, I even order the bank to take it off as direct debit if I'm using the bank. The moment the bank takes off, anytime we have money, our expense levels will shoot up. But if we don't have money, your expenses will go down. I know of someone, I know he's listening in, and he will say all the time, I use him as an example. That person said that when I was earning so much, I don't remember having such a big list of expenses when I was earning little. But now that I'm earning a lot, I have all these expenses. I have to pay for Wi-Fi, have to pay for power, for rent, and all these bills are key bills. He needs to really have them sorted. But then he was wondering, when I was earning less, how come I didn't have these expenses? When our income increases, also same applies to our expenses. Because if before you could not afford to live in a 50,000 house, now that you're earning 500,000, you're like, I can afford 50,000, and so you pay for 50,000. Then you start saying, but I think I can also afford to buy data of 20,000 a month. Something you are not doing before, but you can do now because you can afford it. Now those are the habits that we adopt to, or we pick along the way as our income goes up. Now, if we stay focused, even when your income goes up, 10% has to be off. If I got 10 million, I'll have to save 1 million. Period. It's not debatable. I don't have to first treat my friends out, and what is left is what I'll save. You save it there and then, as and when the money comes in. So habits that will keep us poor is saving last. Now, the other one is getting comfortable with debts. People do like and get comfortable with debts. When you're comfortable with debts, trust me, you will earn 10 million. And before that 10 million comes at the month end, you've borrowed about 15 million because 10 million is coming. And as you're doing that, because the 10 millions come at times with interest, it goes up to 15 million. And yet you're earning 10. So those are habits that keep you poor all the time. As in, you say you work so hard, but for some reason that money, you don't see anything valuable done with the money that you earn, and yet you earn it. So if we do not get comfortable with debts, guys, we can be able to beat that thing of poverty or lack and scarcity all the time and be able to live comfortable lives. I'm not saying we should live over the top, because a person who saves thinks before they spend. Another thing is having stockpile money ready saved that could come in handy at any time. When you have that stockpile money, you have that money, and there's anything that comes up, it can keep you in a poor mentality because you already have it stocked up. Say like, I'm just keeping my money under the bed, under the mattress. Having that stockpile money under the mattress will keep you poor. Why? You can ask me that. Because it's under the mattress, you will use it even for things that are really not urgent. You're like, they need what? But I can do that. And then you get foot into that as well. It will keep you poor. Now, what we need to do is that money that you keep as stockpiled money, get it, invest it in something. There are so many business ideas. I don't know where you're watching from. Feel free to drop in the comments where you're watching in from or who you are. Guys, you're all welcome. This is a live chat. Go on and drop in the comments, and together let us develop ourselves. Today I thought of talking about savings because of someone who talked about having struggles last Friday, Sula, who talked about struggles of saving. And I hope today you get pointers on how you can save your money. Now, another thing that you can do that can keep you poor is not knowing your income and expenses. Anytime you're just earning from every source and you don't know exactly how much is coming in and how much you're spending, that will keep you poor. You need to keep track of your expenses and you need to keep track of your incomes. Now, I'm saying this because I have an accounting background, and so I keep in check every single coin that I spend. I need to account for it. I need to know, why am I spending it? Is it necessary? I know we all need to look good and, washed up and all that, but it's not a daily thing. There are times that you need to pamper yourselves, but not all the time. It has to be planned as well. I'm not saying we should be cheapskates, because if you're cheap to even yourself, then you're cheapskate really. But I'm saying you need to plan your expenses. Now, another thing that can keep you poor is not knowing your income. If, for example, you earn 20,000 or 5,000 or $500 a month, and then you're here living in a house of maybe 900,000, already that has given you a gap of money that you need to look for in order to live comfortable, because you will be in debt for the rest of your life. You're living beyond your means. You need to always know how much, keep tabs of how much you're earning and how much you're spending, because the moment you lose track of those, you will end up always being poor. Those are the habits that keep us poor. When we tend to spend more than our income, that is a deadly place to be. The danger is that when you live, so like again, another thing that can keep us poor is living according to your income. Yeah, I'm earning 100,000, I'll get a house of 100,000. What happens when the things change up and you cannot afford the house of 100,000 anymore? You need to leave that gap, that even when anything that you're going to invest in or spend on money, it needs to be that you've already made a scale and you can afford it 10 times. If you cannot afford that thing 10 times, say like, I'm going to buy this shoe that goes for 1 million. Can I buy 5 shoes out or 10 shoes out at that much? If I cannot afford to buy 10 shoes at 1 million, then that's not my scale, my state yet. I need to look for shoes that I can be able to afford. Even if this one gets spoiled or is stolen the next day, I can afford another one. That is living within means. But if you can only afford it once and dream of it the rest of the years that come, and you keep on telling people, but I bought it at this much. We all know you bought it. But can you afford it over and over again? If you cannot afford something more than one time, guys, that is living beyond your means. And those are spending habits that will keep you poor for the rest of your life. Now, what does this all call for? It calls for a budget that you can stick to. A budget every month. You budget, I have these expenses, this is my income, these are the swappable expenses. You can only get into them after you've taken off your savings, after you've paid off the inevitable expenses, after you've paid your taxes, you've paid off debts. Then you can squeeze in those, here and there, give yourself a treat. But if you cannot, then those expenses can always be, pushed on the side. So we need to learn how to come up with a budget. We all need budgets. A house that does not have a budget will always live beyond its means and below its means. I mean, you could afford to even get better things, but you find them living with the worst of things simply because they are saving. That is also not good, because life is for the living. We need to live even as we save. So as you're saving your money, you need also to be able to be mindful that the money you inject in yourself will give you better health, that you can be able to make more. Now, I cannot start saying I'm going to save, when I'm sick. I need to get the money for medical as well. Those are expenses that are inevitable. You keep that money on the side, or you put it under the emergency fund, whereby in case you fall sick, in case you have an accident, you have money that will help you be able to overcome whatever predicament you're faced with. Now, the danger is some of us tend to save too much or spend too much. We need to find a balance to our lifestyle, whereby you save and also spend. Yeah. Now, the other one is having expensive lifestyle or hobbies. Oh my goodness, expensive hobbies have kept people poor. We need to cut down on our expensive hobbies like shopping on social media, living like social media people, living off TV and newspapers, living off, these reality programs on TV. Those programs, guys, are unrealistic. You see the Kardashians or any other people that you're watching or you're following, and they really don't seem like they've gone out to work and hustle. You don't see them doing anything, and yet they are going on these cruises, they are going on holiday, and you start living in your head. You want to have what the other one has. Those are unrealistic hobbies. I mean, every month I have to go out. I have to go out, and if I went to the other place this time I have to go to a better one. I have to upgrade. Who are you competing with? It is just yourself, and you're digging your own hole. Because once your money runs out, everyone will be like, they used to go out every now and again. Well, what happened? That is likely to come up at some point. But if you purpose to plan and have a budget, you'll be able to live within means and go out once in a while, but to affordable places where you can still be able to maintain that kind of lifestyle. So having expensive hobbies like shopping online, like social media followings or TV or newspapers or living unrealistic life, yeah, will keep us poor. So how do we better ourselves? By living realistically. You're earning this much, plan, have a budget on how much you should spend. Keep in check of what your expenses are. Live within your means. Even when you're finding a girl to marry, don't go way up that if she say you don't take her to this place, she will leave you the next day. No, 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 no. Find someone who understands you, because love is not measured by what expensive places you've gone off to or what expensive things that you have got. You also have to find someone who has got their head screwed on right. Because if there is concrete up here, all I'll think of is what you've not got for me and what you are supposed to get. And that will keep us always on the low side. You can only afford these things today and not afford them in the time to come. So it is key, guys, that we live within our means. Also, focusing on saving is one of those habits that can keep you poor. Ask me why savings could keep you poor. I don't see anyone in the comments who has asked that, but I'll tell you this. Focusing on just savings can keep you poor. Because say like every day I keep 1,000, I save 1,000 in my tin. I will stay with that 1,000. It won't bring any interest or increase after time. It won't add on to itself. It will stay as 1,000 until I get another one and add to it. Yeah, my progress will be slow because I'm saving. I will progress, yes, but the progress will be slow. Why? Because I'm only saving and I'm not investing. So that is also a habit that can keep you poor. But say like I save, this is something I told some person. I told them they had got money from the government, and they had given it to their circle to develop it. And their challenge was to grow it to 600, 500,000, no, they had given them 600,000, 600 million, and they wanted them to grow that money to 1 billion. That way, next time when they come to check and that money has grown, they would give them 1 billion shillings to add into the business. Now, that was where the problem came from. I remember the gentleman saying, first, we have to buy ourselves. I need myself a pickup. I need one of those mini trucks that I can use to go to the village as and when I want to go. Now, remember, he asked for money for development of the circle. But as the manager of the circle or the director of the circle, the first thing when they got the money from the government, because the circle was supposed to be tailored around youths, because youths who don't have jobs but want to start up their own projects and need money to start this up. So he petitioned to the president for money to develop the youth in his area. So when he was given 600 million, he got on his head. And I remember him saying, I need to buy a new pickup. I think we all need, and the other one was saying, I also have to get myself a nice car that represents my status now. He forgets that money was not for his status, yeah, or for himself. It was for the circle, for the youth, so that the more youths listed who have taken out money, and the more youths take out the money, and it returns with interest, that money grows. If it grows up to 1 billion, because they had given them 600 million, then they would be able to inject in a billion shillings on top of the 600 million they had gotten earlier. But the other man had it twisted. He thought it's now his time to get that status car, that pickup truck that will be able to go to the village. And when I looked into their expenses, they had expenses like, I'm going for funeral rites for my uncle. So they put in a requisition for, half 1.5 million. And you're wondering, is this a company expense or a person expense? Should these expenses fall under the company or in your own personal account? You as the managing director, should it fall in your account or in the company's account? Now, they were doing everything the wrong way. Now, also us, if we focus on just saving, it would not do us money. But if we put it out, now these people were not even spending, they were not saving, they were spending. Now, if we focus on saving alone, we will not grow that money. But say you get money from the government and you get it to give it out to the youths, and you give it out to the youth at an interest that is minimal. By the time they return that money, whether it's on a weekly basis or monthly basis, it will have grown. So same applies to us. When we focus on just saving, our money will stay just as saved. But if you save and then look for avenues to invest money, like what we call creating side hustles, yeah, whereby now you have, before you are earning and you've been saving and your money has grown. The moment your money grows that you have saved to a certain amount that is really reasonable, have goals. If I save and it's this much, I'll get myself a border or a tuk-tuk, or I'll get myself a new bicycle. So instead of trekking to work, I'll ride to work. Or you can say, and then save that money of transport. And that's one thing that is knocked off. Transport is not anymore among the initial expenses. So you've started getting on your journey of becoming rich. You've injected it in yourself by buying a bicycle, or you've injected it in yourself by buying a motorcycle that you can put out for someone to ride and bring you money on a daily or a weekly basis. That means you are able to save more having invested. So the investment is bringing you money, which will also fasten your speed at savings. Because before, your money would just sit. Now you're buying yourself a motorcycle, and the motorcycle will bring income on a daily or a weekly basis. And before you know it, the money that comes from the border or the motorcycle that you've bought, I'm just give and take example of using a motorcycle. You can invest in buying fish. In Uganda, there is what we call fish. There are fishmongers. I know they are everywhere, and I don't know where you're watching from, but fishmongers are everywhere. You can invest in fish. People eat fish on a daily. I know of a place where you go right now on Friday, it's packed. People buy fried fish, raw fish, and take home and fry. So you can invest in anything. You can really invest. You can even invest in buying, what is this? Buying meats, and you start a meat side hustle where you sell maybe sausages or chicken or meat or whatever it is that you comes to mind. But that side hustle can start bringing you money. And as it brings you money, instead of keeping that money in a tin or under the mattress, it is growing. And at the end of the year, you will have added an asset to yourself because of what you have bought in the savings, and also still earn from your salary, and also earn from the interest that you get. You can even add more assets and also be able to still save, because the asset that you buy should be able to bring you more income. So there are many ways we can earn, guys. You can even decide, in my savings, I'll make snacks and get someone to take them out and sell them for me. You know what? That is side hustle, and that's money. Remember where we started off from. when I said that when it rains the whole place. But where you have put containers to collect the rainwater is the only place where you'll be able to harvest water. So where you did not put a container to collect water, there will be no water harvested. So guess what? What you will get will be limited to what you put out to collect. Now, if you choose to save from your side hustle, save from your workplace, save, all those are avenues that will, at the end of the day, add to your pool money, and you'll be able to beat poverty just like that and live comfortably. How long should we live, guys, in envy of those who have? I mean, that has sent many people into, doing witchcraft, fighting and planning against others, planning to kill others so that we can take what is theirs. And yet we can start from somewhere and make it big. I know of someone who was earning 5,000, no, 10,000 a day. And this person saved and it got to 1 million. Saved again, it got to 2 million. I mean, people can do that. And it's unbelievable. She does not earn a lot. And what she said, to make things really impressive, she purposed, I don't want to know how much I'm saving. I just want to start saving. So the moment the whole light turned on of saving, she started dropping every day. She earns 10,000, she drops 5,000. She earns 15, she drops 10. Those are unrealistic percentages, but somehow she managed to work within that small amount of money. Whatever money that we earn will give us the scope of how much we save. But the thing is, we tend to love spending. We all like spending and shopping. Some habits we've got to drop so that we can advance. Because if we don't drop them, we will not advance. Guys, that's a realistic check. 2025, let us purpose that I'm going to turn my life around. I'm not going to live beyond my means. These social media platforms, I mean, when you're playing a game on your phone like this, we need to also start valuing our time. When we are talking about saving, we don't only save money, we also save our time, save our resources, save our money. Now, your time needs to be saved. When you're watching or playing those games on your phone or your iPad or your laptop, there are these adverts that keep on popping up. They are selling the latest vests for men that keep them in shape. They are selling the latest gutters. They are selling the latest, mops. You already have a mop at home. But now the marketing departments of these media platforms have gotten in there and gone and twisted our brains. What you see, you like. And you're like, I have to get that. What was that again? Let me start ordering it now. Because they put on at the bottom, order or shop. And you click on it. And it's intriguing when you see you've clicked and someone has responded. They've actually told you the price and they deliver tomorrow. Those are habits that keep us always in lack and wishful thinking. Any dream you have, as long as you dare to save towards it, you will achieve. But if we do not have dreams, when money comes our way, once it comes in, I've had many people say, I'm living from hand to mouth, from hand to mouth. I'm working, but my money never grows. It never grows because you don't have goals. Have big dreams, guys. Let's call them dreams. Call them dreams. I know you're earning 300,000, but this person that I told you about that used to save 5,000 or 10,000, had dreams of traveling or dreams of buying land. And these are unrealistic dreams based on how much she's dropping every day. But I'm sure she's on her way to getting to that dream at that rate, because it doesn't matter to her. She's thinking of saving. Now, one thing she's getting herself adopted to is investment. Because when you invest what you have saved, guys, it will multiply faster. But when we don't have goals, when they are looking for people, someone gets to know on every Friday they pay that one. We will come at your place and make sure we eat all that you have until there's nothing. And all we have to do is be, praising you, how good you are. Wow, how you really hit it and hit it so hard. How you become this party animal. Where are we going out this Friday night? And you're the one even to choose the place, having known the prices. So you make sure that money is set on the side for going out. Purpose not to. We need to change also our crowd. For anyone to make it in life, we need to pull out of the public eye and take a step back. And then when we do that, guess what happens, guys? When we return, There's enough light to shine on us that even someone who is very far can see us. And they'll be wondering, where have you been this time? And it doesn't matter anymore why, after you've come back with money. Everyone wants to see you when you're doing well, not when you're on the begging side. So when you save, you know what you're sacrificing for. Guess what? The price that you have paid in will keep you focused. I want to get a car. I'm tired of trekking every day to work. I want to get a car, at least of 6 million. I know it is not the best, but it's a good start. Until I get that car, I'm not going to, live beyond my means. Because you want to get a car, that will drive you into saving more. But some people don't even have dreams at all. We don't have dreams at all. And that keeps us on the backside. We need to have dreams. This life that you see people living, you can have it as well. Any of us can. But the thing is, we want it sorted. If you're a person who is like that, you can only dream of these things, and they will stay as dreams. But dream and be practical enough to save. Once you purpose to save, you will be able to enjoy that life that seems way above you. But if you don't save, and then you don't invest your savings, a faster way to get your money to grow is to invest your savings. Now listen, I said investing savings. That means you can invest all your money, but also you can invest just the savings. I'm not saying say like now, this is a perfect example. I earn 300,000. I take off 10% of that. And every month I take off 30,000 and keep it on the side. That is about $1 or $2 if I'm earning, give and take 30,000. I don't know how much $300 is. But Ugandan money, let's stick to what I know, which is Ugandan currencies, because that can come off my head. Now, 270,000 is left if I take off 30, which is my percentage to save. Now, that percentage is the one I'm talking about to invest and to do all these other things. Yeah. Now, if I've not saved, if I've not used up that, remember there's that 270,000 in which I have to take off emergency fund, my expenses that are inevitable, take care of my family members or family, distant family. You just have to put some couple money just to sort those few things with your family members. And don't be the one to, be on a lookout of what expenses to cater for. But also let us not forget, guys, another thing that keeps us poor, like it or not, is robbing God. When we rob God, we will always be in lack. How do we rob God? You take off a 10% and save it, but also take off 10% and give it to God. I know churches nowadays are not something many people understand. It is true. But guys, robbing God will also keep us on the poor end. But if you give God, the Bible says that He will rebuke the devourer of our money. So that means God will make sure we don't get sick because we made Him partners. Now, why do I say robbing God? Because partners get percentages, right? Partners get percentages. So if I take off 10% and give it to God, 10% of my income before I even take off anything would mean that I've made God partner. And because I've made Him partner, He will be able to protect the business. Make sure, guys, let us not forget, as we pursue riches, as we pursue happiness, as we pursue making it big and becoming rich, that this world is His and all that is in it is His. Now, once we remember that all that is in it is His, then we do not forget to give Him what is His. You give Him just that percentage, and guess what? God will ensure you are in good health. Your children don't get sick. He will ensure there is no theft, no unexpected things. So when your money is saved, it stays saved to do just exactly what you want it to do. But the thing is, we rob God, and somehow we think you can rob God and be okay. You cannot. Robbing God will also keep us on the poor end. So if we want to always have God on our side, making sure we don't lack, making sure that, what you save stays saved, we give God what is His. And guess what? He will come in and make sure we are safe. Now, we've talked about so many things about savings. I'll also first take a break and read some of these comments. I see Hope Dina saying nice saving and helpful. And then Wahipi Nyirenda said hi. Alan Matov said hi. I'm enjoying your wise words. Thank you so much. Then Wawan Kasep 8 something, you are the best wife. I don't think so. I don't know about that, about being the best, but really it's being realistic. We live beyond our means, we will stay poor. We want, even as we are looking, now that this one has talked about, one has talked about wives, yeah? If you're looking for one, let us be real. Guys, you know how much you're earning. You know that you're earning this much, yeah? Don't go showing off. I know of someone, this is really interesting. This guy pursued this lady and you would send her 50,000 in the morning. Go and get yourself. Have you had any breakfast? Go and have breakfast. And then lunchtime, he would send another 50,000. Have you eaten anything? Go and grab some lunch. In the evening, thereabout, he would send money. Go and get some juice. It's been a hot day, and unwind. And this girl, in her mind, kept on saying, I don't know why, but I keep on being chased after by rich men. And this other one has surpassed them all. This one sends me money. So in her mind, she had programmed herself for a man who was financially stable. If you can afford 150,000 every day, giving it to me out like that, I'm not expecting anything less at the end of the day. I'm expecting you've got yourself sorted house-wise, you've got yourself a car, and I'm going to be ordering with maids on every corner. That is what I would expect, because that's how we are girls. Now, if you're going to get interested in a girl and you want her to, I know we say that, guys, you say that once you tell me the truth about your finances, I would run away. But there are those who could stick. I'm sure there are those who the world has taught and they are willing to stick around. Because today, money, the reason why they say money is a visitor, it is there today and tomorrow it's gone, is because once a visitor comes to your house and you treat them well, they will stay. But once they come and they get a bad reception, or a neglected reception, they will leave and not return. Why? They were not taken care of. Now, same applies to money. Now, they keep on saying money is a visitor. Why do they say it's a visitor? Because if your money comes, this brings us to the topic that we are going to talk about now, of money. If you treat money well today, it comes, and you treat it well, you invest it, you invest the savings. Remember, guys, saving is 10%. Now, if you invest that 10% that you saved, is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying invest the whole amount of money that you earned, because you need to live as well. And you don't need to live on the lower end of the life. Yeah, you need to live at a reasonable scale. And every one of us needs that bit. Now, because we all need to live that way. Guys, if you hear my sound has gone off, let me know so I can up my mic a bit, and then we can continue with our chat. If you treat money well, it will linger around. You will always have it. But if money comes and you spend it extravagantly, guess what will happen? You will have it today, eat so well, dine, have everyone happy, And then the next day you are on the begging side. We do not want to keep those tracks of today I have, tomorrow I don't. Who can I go and borrow from next day? You can live comfortably minus borrowing from anyone. You can live comfortably. How you do it, you plan. Guys, do you know that there is this habit of daily kameza? In Uganda, we call it kameza, where I don't know where you guys are watching from, so I'm assuming you're from all over. But there's a habit in Uganda where our men every day leave a certain amount of money. Whether I need it or I don't need it, you leave it there. Now, God made women different. We all are natural savers because we are built to make homes. All of us are built to make homes. Women are built. That's why we nurture children. Otherwise, it would be that the men give birth to the children. Now, in the animal world, there are some animals that just, go and impregnate and move off. But in the in the people world, guess what? The women are all built to nurture. That's why every one of us is built to bear children. And to those that don't have it, I don't know what went wrong, but it's in us to nurture and to build homes. So if you give me 20,000 every single day, I will be able to make money. Have you heard of stories where women have gone off and built apartments that men never knew of? I know of this gentleman who I think kept on dropping that kameza money. We call it kameza money, or money you put on the side, on the table for daily expenses at home. Even when those expenses are realistic, they actually exist in your home. We women know how to go around them and be able to still save. If I want to save of you, I know you don't know of that, but find a good wife who you connect with very well. That money can still be saved off. Because do you know that we don't have to spend on a daily in our home? I mean, if it is rice that you sit down and sit with your wife or your partner or whoever, even if you're living at school with fellow students and you share your grab, you can say, this is how much we eat on a daily. How many kilos do we use of rice on a daily, even if it's at home? So let us go buy a sack of rice when the money is there. Let us stock up on meat. Let us stock up on these beefs, on the chicken, on this. And once you do that, there is always guaranteed stockpile of food in your house. That way, all you're looking at is probably getting sauces if you didn't get them, or getting a few treats here and there, depending on those side hustles and how they perform. But if they don't perform well, you don't go out and start eating out. So every woman in out there can save. So if you didn't know, guys, we can save off kameza. We can really save off kameza. But there's a gentleman who used to leave money every day, and the wife, and you men also have a habit of saying, I don't want my woman to tell me about how much she's earning. That's a very big mistake, because your job can run out, your money, your income can drop, and mine is shooting up steadily, and you will never know. So that habit of saying, don't ever tell me of how much you earn, is also a wrong one. If you're going to live with me, yeah, and we share the bed, you know what goes on. If we can share all that, why not share the money that we have? If we don't share, that is already a loophole that we've created in our relationship, whereby I can become rich off you and you'll never know, because you're the one carrying the weight. No one is built to carry the weight of the whole world. No one is built that strong. No one. At some point you crack. You cave in because the weight is too much. That is why you see we look for places for relief. Why? Because we can't handle. You laid the bed so wrong. Now you're sleeping on an even bed and it's uncomfortable. What we do is we save that money together and spend it together. We sit and plan realistic things. That way I don't assume, because like this gentleman I was telling you about, who was treating the girlfriend to 150,000 every day. So the girlfriend got hooked and thought she's married into a wealthy family, or married to a wealthy man. only to get there and the man is really hustling. He's living in 120,000 house and it's not comfortable at all. Why? You plant the wrong ideas. Don't live beyond your means. If you're earning this much, be real. Take them to that place that costs that much. And that's how you will know the right person. Because the right person will stand even that much that you're earning. They will stand it. And they'll be like, okay, we went out. We had a good time. Because what counts is the time spent with this person. So they will be okay. But wanting to keep up with appearances, looking a certain way that you're actually not, is also not good. Sorry, I was checking on my mic. Sorry about the noise. Now, there are saving challenges that we face. Saving challenges, there are ways we can solve the saving challenges. There are many ways that we can do that, but there are these particular ones that I think and hope that can help us. You can save money every single day. Yeah? You can purpose. Every day I will get a tin and drop a certain amount that is comfortable for you. Say like the 10% thing doesn't work, but you're earning on a daily. Yeah. If you're earning on a daily, you can say, I will save every single day because I'm earning every day. And you say every day I will drop. Today I earned 5,000. I'll drop in 500. Tomorrow you earn maybe 10,000. You drop in 1,000. See that there is no marking, no scale as to how much you can save, but you're saving every day. At the end of the year, if you open that tin that you saved according to how much you earn a day, my goodness, you'll be blown. There's a time I had myself a small mini bank, and one time I decided to break it and, check and see how much it had come up to. And there was some really good money in there. And I was surprised it's me who had saved it. But on a day that you earn a lot, purpose to save more. On a day that you earn less, purpose to still save, but at least a little bit, but saving. So you can save you can beat that saving challenge by saving every single day, depending on how much you earn. If you earn on a daily, you'd save depending on how much you've earned. Say like today, my side hustle gave me 20,000. I can choose to drop in there 2,000 and just chill. And then the next day, my side hustle gives me 100,000. I can choose to save in 20,000. You see how my saving has gone up depending on how much I've earned. So you can beat that saving challenge by saving a certain amount every single day. There is also what they call a 52 weeks saving challenge. How does that work? This is a good one. Now, these tips I'm giving are for those who have really challenges saving. There are 52 weeks in a year. Yeah. You can say on the very first day of the year, I will save 1,000. Yeah. The second day, I'll save 2,000. The third day, 3,000. The fourth day, 4,000. The fifth day, 5,000. I'm not saying 1,000 shillings. Yeah, every day. I'm saying the first day of the year. You say, I'll go with number 1, which is 1,000. The second day of the year, I'll get a 2,000 note. Now, that is for us who are in Uganda who have 2,000 notes. I'll save 2,000. Even if you don't have those notes, you can say, the first day I'll save $1, second day $2, third day save $3. That day you save $3 and add them to the first $2. Do you get me on that one? Now, if I'm in Uganda and I save first day 1,000, the next day I save 2,000. So those 2,000 I'll add to the 1,000 that I already saved the first day, which makes it 3,000. Then on the third day, I'll save 3,000. Now, this is to people who have an income but don't want to, just save anything. So you just go ticking off on the calendar. Yeah. If it is day 30, you save 30,000. That day, you save 30,000. Day 31, you save 31,000 and add it to the money already saved. Those are people who have money but just want to, have a surprise at the end of the year. You will be surprised how much you would have at the end of the year. Or even you can even give yourself at the end of 3 months. Let me see how much I have. if I just go adding by days. Yeah, you can say I will on day 40, I'll save 40,000. Add it to my already stockpiled up money. My dear, when you by the time 3 months has 90 days, that means on the 90th day you'll save 90,000. Now that 90,000 added to the money that you have been already saving on these other days. Oh my goodness, you want to beat being poor? Pick it as a habit of saving. Saving surprises. Whatever goal you have, you can achieve or reach up to. But the thing is, we never come up with those goals. We always sell ourselves short. We think we can't do it. We think it is impossible. And we just sit back and admire these rich guys who come up with these apartments, these business. Did you know that these people who have these arcades or plazas have also businesses of side hustle businesses? You get to know, and did you know that money? And the bad thing that we do, those of us who don't have money, is keep tabs on who has what. This person has never sat you down and taken you through how much they are earning or what they have got, but you keep tabs like someone assigned you to that job. That is also wrong. Yeah, you get to know that man has a coin place where they sell cars. He has a place where they even deal in clothes, second-hand clothes. You know all their side hustles. Instead of investing that time in keeping tabs on people's money, invest that time in creating your own side hustles. That one day savings, yeah, is something I recommend for those who have money and just want to play around with it. You will be surprised. Save the first day of the year, of the month, save 1,000. The second day, save 2,000. Add it to the 1,000, that is 3. The fourth day, save 4,000. Add it to the 3,000 already saved, that is 7,000. Don't you see? Now, the fifth day, save 5,000. Add it to already the 7,000. Already, aren't we talking in terms of 12,000? Now, the sixth day, save 6,000. Add it to already the 12,000, that will be 18,000. My dear, by the time you get to day 90, if your challenge is 3 months, you will have good money and you'll be surprised it came from you. And you can afford anything. You can be able to create side hustles. And you say, after every 3 months, I start up something. Let me find someone who wants to, because people who don't have money have great ideas. I don't know whether you know that, but they've got great ideas where if you meet them and you're like, if you got money, what kind of business would you start? I would start off a business of spices. I would start off a business of juice making. And so you hear that idea. Guess what? You start it as a side hustle. And you get that exact person and you give them the money to buy the spices and tell them every week, I want you to bring for me this much. They will hustle, be able to help themselves, but also give you that money on a weekly or on a daily, people that you trust. And that is how we grow our money. That is how we develop ourselves and kill this poor mentality that seems to be something that we have even embraced and started thinking that that is us. Because really, no one is cut out to be poor. The effort you put in to beat poverty is the same effort that will be used to pull you out. But if you don't, and just keep on dreaming, you'll be a dreamer and you'll die as one, a dreamer. But it's all possible. We can all become better than what we are today. I know some of us watch from very far. Some of us watch from Saudi Arabia. Special shouts to you guys who are in Saudis, those of you who are in India, those of you who are in Pakistan, US and UK. Special shouts go out to you, all that are watching. But if we adopt that habit of saving, guys, it will pull us from any hole that we are in, and we can be better. Another one we can use is the 52-week challenge. That is also some saving that I saw. Yeah, you save, the first one you save a certain amount of money every day, where you save 1,000 every day for a year. Because we have 365 days, you will have 360,000 at the end of 100,000 at the end of the month, the year. That is good money. But you can also up that a bit and save as per the days. The first day you save 1,000, the second day you save 2,000, the third day you save 3,000. So 2,000 plus 3, in 3 days you have 5,000. And then on the fourth day you save 4,000. 5,000 plus 4,000, that is 9,000. I'm using Ugandan money because that's the currency that we have. And you see how far that goes. But also there's a 52-week savings whereby you can decide every week, every week I'll save 20,000. Every week for 52 weeks. Do the math, guys. That is some serious money coming in for you. And at the end of the year, when you open your pot, your box, you will not believe how much is in there. Regardless of how much, you can even change and decide. If you know you have a steady income, at least every day you earn 100,000 or 50,000. You purpose every day I will save 10,000, hook or crook. Now a month that has 31, that will be 310,000 times the next month, which has 30 days, which is 300,000. So 300,000 plus that 310,000 plus the month of 28 days, that is 280,000. If you do that for a year, guys, all these things that seem very far that we cannot afford will come to us and we will be able to afford them. The problem is we limit ourselves. And the limit, I gave you an example when we were starting of rain. Rain pours to all of us, just like God gives us that day with 24 hours. All of us. There is no one that gets 6 hours a day. All of us get 24 hours. But what we do with our 24 hours, at the end of the day, will give us different results. Some people sleep through their 24 hours. Others choose to go and bed the whole 24 hours. Others choose to go out and hustle the whole 24 hours. Others sleep 12 and wake up 12. Yeah. Others choose to go and party. I mean, it's party after party. In Uganda, we call it party after party. You just go and party. Anywhere where there is a party, you're there. But what you do with your day is like that rain that pours out when the rain comes. It rains, and some of us put out containers to harvest water. And the containers you put out is the rain that you would collect. If you put out few, you would get less. If you put out more, you would get more. So same applies to us. When you choose to look at all these other side hustles, all these other things that you're doing and using them as avenues to save and putting back your savings into, you invest them, guys, we will all sit back here and be talking as millionaires. It is possible. It is doable. Dina, yes, it is possible. One, it is possible. Kasep 81, it is possible. Guys, we can all better ourselves. Now, on this chart, I have this tendency. When we drop below 15 viewers, I normally switch off, and that is still the case. If we go down below 15, then I will stop talking and I will assume that we are all ready to turn out for the night and we are enjoying Friday. Guys, it's Valentine's. I know we have talked about finances and savings. I need to also hear from you, get to know how you've spent your Valentine's Day, how you've saved or not saved, or how your Valentine's has gone. Feel free to drop in. This is a live chat, and drop in a message. I'll be able to read it. And also you can feel free to call in on +256 762 599 138. That's the number to call, but you can drop in the comments and let me know how your Valentine's has gone and how much you've spent this Friday, Valentine's Day, and how much you have saved. But because this channel is dedicated Friday nights to live chats, every Friday we do a live, and the topic of discussion is normally from you. What you would want to hear discussed next Friday, you drop it in the comments this Friday. And that way, we are aware of what topic is going to be discussed. What you would want to hear us talk about is what you drop in the comments, and we can talk about it next Friday. But this Friday, we are talking about money, saving. We can save money, we can save resources, you can save your time. Talking about saving time, guys, time is such a valuable thing that God has given all of us. In a day, He gives us 24 hours. And what you do with your time, what I do with my time is up to me. But we all get the same time at the end of the day. And what the day brings in return from all of us is what we have put out. If I choose my day, we should also be people who learn to save our time. Do not invest in things that don't add value on you. Always invest in things that add value on you. Because if they don't add, they are taking away. Anything that doesn't add is taking away. You put on that data, you put on that Wi-Fi, or you pay for that Wi-Fi, and then all you do on there is bet. And guess what happens? At the end of the day, you lose everything. And you've not added or anything to yourself. These are things that we are going to drop off or cut off if we want to advance and lose the poor mentality or poor aspect of our lives and change. Because there's something we can do about our lives. All of us can change. All of us can develop. All of us can do it. What you see and admire, if you're out there hustling, just have big dreams. All of us can attain those dreams. But the thing is, we are our own enemies. You're the one who tells yourself, no, I don't measure up. No, I can't afford that. No, I'm not good enough. But all of us have the ability to become whatever it is we dream of becoming. But the thing is, some of us are not dreamers at all. We don't want to dream. You don't have anything pushing you. You don't have anything going for you. But if you have goals and if you have dreams, those are one thing that will push you in the right direction. An example is having children. When you have children, my dear, you can't sit back and just sleep your way in life. You have to wake up because they will be hungry. They want to have one thing or the other. Kids are built differently. They don't waste time. They are either playing or sleeping, and once they wake up, they are off to do something else at the same time. But us adults waste a lot of time with the wrong crowds, hanging out with the wrong groups. The reason why we keep around these crowds is because they make us feel a certain way, because we want to fit in society. Pull away from the crowd and go build, establish yourself. By the time you return, you'll be a different person. You'll be a force to reckon with, because everyone who sees you will know that surely this man is developmental. Surely this person is enterprising, because you have made something for your life. But if all you do is take people out, give them a good time, how long are you going to sustain that for? Do you see yourself get to an older age where you can afford this lifestyle and maintain it? Because in the process of just being a party animal, guess what else we are doing to ourselves? We are ruining our organs as we are drinking, as we are or doing all these other things, vices that do not add on us. This year, 2025, let us purpose that I'll save my time, I'll save my money, I'll save my resources, my energy or I'll save my energy from people who do not take me any far or bring me advancement. Cut yourself from these useless friends that really just help you consume but not save and spare. It's got to be people that understand what your goals are. Because if they don't, guess what? They will keep you on the down low and you will always be on the lacking side. You'll be a laughing stock. So saving is one thing that we can do, but there are many things that we can save, including resources, time, and our money as well. I hope someone this year will purpose to save, and I'll hear also about people's advancement, how they managed to, pull away from the poor setting to a rich setting. Remember, I said when we drop to below 15. So if we drop, guys, that will be a sign out, and we'll be catching up next Friday. Otherwise, I'm hoping that you all well. And please let me know where you're watching in from. Kayongo Sara, where are you watching from? I hope someone has been blessed. I've got YouTube channels. I've got this one which is Winfred, which is Digesting the Bible with Winfred. On this channel, we read the Bible on a daily basis. We read from Genesis all the way up to Revelation. The essence of this channel is to just read the Bible and get to know what God requires of us. And also, there's another channel that I have that is about cooking. It's called Winfred Cooking at Home, Made Easy. If you want to make special meals at home, go ahead and tune in. You'll be inspired. And also, there is another one of building projects with Winfred. Like I said, we are saving time. Instead of wasting your time going off and doing things that do not count or bring you anything in return, go ahead and open up that YouTube channel that you've always dreamt about. Open it up and see how far it can take you. Make it inspirational, and you see how it will bring you returns at the end of the day. So I've got that one of building projects with Winfred, and on there I encourage people on building, because building is also another investment that you can start. Guys, it is possible to own land. It is possible to build. People who own land do not drink a certain kind of milk. Neither do they feed on a certain kind of food. They eat food like you and I. And they drink the milk that everyone else drinks. But everything that we want to get up to involves sacrifice. At some point, you've got to step back and be like, I know I want that shoe. I was supposed to get the latest Jordans, but I will not buy it this month. I'll save because I want to buy myself a piece of land. We can purpose. There is land that is sold. It may not be so much near town, but it's cheaper. Buy it and keep it. Guys, because of the East African community, you will remember these words. Because of the East African community, there is going to be a flooding of people into Uganda. And these people will come with money. They will be willing to invest in our country, Uganda. You will realize in the East African community, it's only Uganda that still has this massive land. Those places, it's hard to get land because the cost of living is very high. Their money has value, more value than our money. So they are looking for places to invest. They already have the money, but don't know where to invest. Now, if you go on and buy a piece of land in Uganda, keep it. Land does not depreciate. It just appreciates. Guess what? You buy it today and keep it. Even when it seems very far, Uganda is developing. There are roads cropping up every corner. They will come to your place. And guess what? That land that you bought cheaply will have gained value. The moment roads and infrastructure comes into an area, the value of the place goes up. And once it goes up, you'll be into money. You will be able to get money that you never dreamt of. It's going to come to a time when it's hard to live in Kampala. Why? If you don't have land. Because there will be no places to plant crops. So if you're not one who has a steady income, you won't be able to afford living and eating in Kampala. But if you have your own piece of land, you can grow food there and maintain yourself in the city. Or you can move to your place and leave the city to be crowded for those who are doing business. Or you just do business and go off on the weekend to your land. So I encourage you to buy land. If you can, buy land and keep it. The habit of selling off what we have got is not a wise one. Buy it, own there, plant trees. I encourage people to plant trees simply because there are trees that grow in a shorter time and there are trees that grow after a long time. But the ones that grow in a shorter time, if you plant them on your ground, in 5 years to come, you'll be harvesting, or 3 years or 4 years, depending on what kind of trees you're into. But the trees that you plant now, even if it's having a child, you will have had a child. By the time they start school, you'll be able to afford their tuition simply because the money will be coming in now and again. Every now and again, money will come again. I want to say hello to Winnerman. Thank you for dropping by. And you said, praise God, Winnerman. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching in from. And if you buy land, guys, you can plant trees, you can plant vegetables, depend as you speculate and see what's going on in the market. Because the market, things are changing. Before you would find you would grow cotton, but nowadays you can grow pepper. And the returns that you get from growing pepper are something else. You can grow, uh, you can grow, what is this? Mangoes, and they are good for export. There are countries like South Sudan or Sudan which don't even have time for planting anything. You can still make your money out of those. Anything, but you can also grow passion fruits. Those ones have a good market because you can juice them, you can sell them to companies that make juices and get money. All these are developmental ideas, but buy land. And when you buy it, keep it and just chill. Fence it off, plant in there something that would give you money on it. The reason I'm advocating for trees is because trees don't call for a lot of work. You go in, plant, fumigate while they are still young, and water while they are still young. Once they take ground and are firm in the ground, you don't need a lot of work. The rest is to get a machine to just cut the grass. And while you're planting trees, you can also plant in some other things like cassava or beans, so that when the trees grow up and become tall enough, you've utilized that land. In the meantime, you've been earning some money out of it. So that's one way of also enterprising or developing yourself and getting yourself some kind of income. And also, if you have money, put on rentals. If you have many pieces of land, put up rentals. Those would give you money. They do not depreciate, land appreciates. When I use appreciation, I mean it grows value. Its value goes up. It does not go down, it goes up. And because it goes up, your income will go up. Have you seen landlords who increase rent even without making any change on the property? They don't paint, they don't do any renovations, but their rent money goes up. There are those ones as well. And the reason they do that is because they are landlords. And you can become that as well. All of us can make our lives better if we choose to sacrifice for today and now, and then make money later. We save now and invest and make money, and then later we can join the spending crew and just be spenders. But that spending habit gets to a point where it dies. Have you seen these rich people who never look like they have the money? But they do. You get to hear that man is worth these many millions. And there's a way poor people keep tabs on those who have. You know exactly where they've ever bought land. You know exactly what they own and what they don't own. Yeah, there's so many things that we do with our time, like keeping tabs on those who have. And I see here Sadesh Baboza. You said nice hair. Thank you. Babez, where are you watching from? I would like to know as well. Baboza. I would like to know where you're watching from and whether you're Ugandan. And tell me about your Valentine's Day. How has your day gone? Whether you enjoyed it, spent wisely, because there's life also after this. So I need to know, Baboza. Let me know where you're watching in from and how you've spent your Valentine's Day. Otherwise, there's a way we keep tabs on those who have, and yet we don't invest that time into making our own money and making our own records, our own history. Because all of us can become rich. All of us can. Now, there's also another one, Emporio. You said, how are you? I'm fine, my dear. How are you? Oh, Sadesh, you're watching from Dubai. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're blessed and you're saving this Valentine's Day. You're purposing to save 2025. Guys, let me know where you're watching in from. Francisco, where are you watching from? Let me know where you're watching from. Guys, it encourages me to know that you're watching from these different places. For us, we live in Uganda, and it is nice to hear someone else is watching. Let me know. This Fridays are dedicated to life, and anything you talk about on Friday is about life, how you find life, where you're doing life from. That is the thing. Oh, you're watching it from Brazil. Francisco, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for being a commenter. You've commented. I'm glad you've tuned in. I wonder how you got to know of this channel and whether it has been helpful, how your Valentine has gone. Guys, let me know. Otherwise, I'm so glad that you've tuned in and given this time to this. I was thinking many people are going out on Valentine's Day, they would not tune in, but I'm glad you've tuned in. Like I said, when our numbers drop up to below 15, I'll sign out. I don't know who else is still on. Let me know who is still watching. Otherwise, we've dropped below 15. It would be a nice time for me to say good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be able to access in the archives all about this channel and related channels that I've got. Like I said, I have a channel, Winfred Cooking at Home Made Easy. We just do meals at home. Simple meals, affordable meals, and I've also got one of building projects with Winfred. So if you are one who looks to be inspired, go ahead and check them out. Otherwise, I would like to sign off from here. And thank you, Francisco, for watching. Thank you, Sadesh, for watching. Yeah, Francisco, thank you so much for watching. Sadesh, thank you for watching. Jadine, thank you for watching. Dina, thank you for watching. Alan, thank you for watching. I hope there's no one that I've forgotten to say thank you for watching. Guys, you have been amazing, and I hope that you have been blessed, and you're going to make it a habit to save this year 2025 and be able to grow your finances. Until next time, when we yet meet up on Friday, it has been nice chatting. Bye-bye, guys, and take care. I don't know. Someone is saying no. I thought it would be good if we sign out, but my camera person is not coming to turn off. I don't know whether he's also still bent on us going on. We've talked about savings exhaustively, and you guys have no questions. You guys, I think, are already good spenders. I mean, good savers. It was about saving today. So if you want to still talk about savings or you want to talk about life, let me know what you have to say or what you're thinking, because your numbers keep on dropping and they keep on going up. I want to know what your take is on saving. How have you saved this month? Are you one who saves? Okay, let me know where you're watching in from, whether you have been saving this year. Had you purpose to save? Like this year, I wanted to make a trip as well. Take my family on holiday somewhere. And I'm hoping I can save as God helps me, get some reasonable amount of money to go on holiday. Guys, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what your plans and resolutions are this year. We all make plans when the year is beginning. But those plans can become real things if we purpose to save. But if we don't save, they can only be dreams. We dream to save, and that is all it is, a dream. I will save next year. This month I wasn't able to. Saving shouldn't be that thing that we do as last resort. It should be something that we do with a zeal or with a purpose. We purpose to save. And so we are able to get to those goals that we are looking at. I hope, Francisco, you're saving where you're watching from in Brazil, and I hope, Sadesh, you're saving from Dubai. Even you guys who are watching in from other places, let me know. And let me know how your day has gone as well. Valentine is one of those days people spend money. They live for that day to impress. And once the day passes, it is something else. You're back to borrowing. I mean, you have to pay back this person, you pay back this one, the one who sold you that shoe, gave you that. It is not wise if we live beyond our means, regardless of what season we are in, whether it is the festival season, whether it is like now when it's Valentine's. It is not nice to spend and live beyond our means. That is my take. I don't mind if I don't get clothes for Valentine's. Neither do I mind because I didn't get flower. I didn't get flowers. As long as the person you're with gets to know that you really care all year round. Valentine's is just another one that comes and goes. And there are people who are even excusing themselves from relationships because of that spending bit. But you can actually, just purpose that what I'm going to do this year is get someone who I can work with and together run this thing. It is doable. Anyone can become rich. Anyone can become, live from a low class to a better class. Do you know that if you purpose to save, you can eat well in your house? Because you're cutting out all these expenses that are not necessary, like taking your friends out. You can stock up on your fridge with good things, stock up your kitchen with nice food, and just keep it there and be able to eat as and when you want to, go where you want to, because you're now cutting out these other unnecessary things like shopping by impulse, craving, eating. You crave to eat, cafe java. So you crave to eat. I mean, it's not bad to eat out, but only if you can do that habit more than 10 times, do you go for it? Once your income cannot take you more than 10 times and it can only take you once, yeah, then you're not yet ready for those places you want to go to. It has to be that you can afford that place 10 times more. Then you are good to go to that place. This business of, pushing yourself hard to get to a place, to do something, guys, it's not so wise. And this year 2025 we can purpose to be wise spenders. Yeah, it will get us to better lives. I want to be able to hear from all of us saying, last year I had purpose to do this, now I've got it. Because it's something else to come up with resolutions for the year when the year is beginning. And you purpose, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But if you just purpose to do those things and you do not start taking steps, even if they are baby steps to getting that goal achieved, you will only keep on dreaming. But if you take steps and also make those resolutions and say, this year, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. If you purpose to do it that way, guys, I'm telling you, we can all be up here next year doing cheers because, we have made it. But the thing is, we want to spend and spend and spend. And the last thing we want to do is save. And it's not enough, like we have said, to just save. It is also key that we invest our savings. That way we can be a force to reckon with. Today you're not driving, you can drive. I mean, all you have to do is gauge your income and expenses and be able to achieve these goals. I know the world is cruel, it's got its own issues, but we also have a part to play as individuals where we purpose to live and change our lifestyles, not to live to impress others, but live for you. You are you. I don't know where my camera person went off to, but you are you. You live for yourself, not to impress others, because once they are out of the picture, it will be you left. And guess what? You'll be doing life as you. The day you realize that you are alone and the course of life that you lay is the one that you will lead, guys, you will change upon so many things. I used to think I have all these things and all these people to lean on until it hit me one day when I was on a wall and then there was not much help to come in. That's when I realized, so if I don't plan for my future, there's no one who is planning for it. If I don't save for tomorrow, there's no one saving for me except myself. If the day I realized now these kids depend on me for all that they need, my life took a different toll, because then I realized I need to better myself. I need to, live more careful than I did last year. So every year I better myself. I set goals and I'm like, God, I want to do this. Forgetting or putting God out of context, guys, is one of those dangers that we can also do. Making sure that we are doing life without Him. We cannot. Let's talk about God. We cannot take God out of context and think we can make it. We can only make it if He's in the picture. He's the one who plugs you in the morning and plugs you out when He chooses to. So there is no plan that you can have without Him. There is no goals that you can have without Him. So every day, have dreams and forward them to the one who created you. Like before we go to bed today, purpose, you will talk to Him and tell Him your dreams, your resolutions this time round, what you have purpose to do. God loves it when we save. I'm telling you, Joseph saved. And when he saved not only himself, but also the whole country and all his loved ones. That is what I had to say. Guys, we have now dropped to 10. I know my camera person has given up on me. I don't know where he has gone off to. I hope he's watching and he can come, or he's alert, or maybe he's sleeping. We've overdone it. My camera person, please, if you're listening in, come in and sign me off. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing. Those of you who are not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscription button. And together, let us develop ourselves every Friday. Any topics that you want to talk about, come Friday, drop them in today or any other time on this channel, and there will be the topic of discussion next Friday. And together we can build ourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in, subscribing, telling friends, and those of you who have shared the link. Thank you so much for sharing the link. I'm just now waiting for the camera person to come and take us off. Guys, good night. And until next time, bye-bye, guys, and stay blessed. You take off. I'm waiting for the camera person to take off. Take off.